Hey everyone, welcome back to Inspiroue. Today I have such an exciting video because I'm sharing my review of Pangaia. I just got my sweatsuit in the mail and I've been looking for a sustainable sweatsuit for over a year. So I was so excited and this is a big deal. I'm going to be sharing all the details today about sizing and fit, duties, shipping, all of that good stuff. And of course, if you follow me, you know I love sustainability. So I'm going to have a bit of talking through their sustainability, their ethics, their fabrics, why they're such a cool brand. The more that I find out about them, the more I fall in love. So I'll share that stuff later, but I know most of you who are here right now care most about sizing, and I totally feel you because when I wanted to buy from them, it took me forever to decide on sizing, especially because they're expensive, so you want to make sure you get your fit right. So let's get into it. Pangaia sizing is gender neutral. It's pretty unisex, and that's why I think I'd recommend sizing down in both the hoodie and the sweatpants. I did a small in both. And to help you with sizing, I filmed some clips earlier with different clothing on so you can kind of gauge my body type. I have a thicker bum and thighs, so I was a bit worried that when I would try most joggers on, they're really like tight on my thighs, especially my quads, but these actually fit really well. Like I think the small was the perfect one for my size, and I'm usually a medium in bottoms, so I think it's true if you size down one. I think in the hoodie, like the small also fits me pretty well. I think this is like the best, like if you want fitted look in terms of hoodies. I'm also 5'4", which is definitely on the shorter side, but these joggers actually fit me really well lengthwise. That's like one of the biggest issues that I've come up with, but I think it's because the elastic at the foot is a bit tighter, if you can see, you know, so it actually like helps taper the leg better. And this is what the hood looks like. I feel like hoods make such a big difference when it comes to like the right hoodie fit. Like you can even see in the back, like that's what it looks like from the side and the back. So yeah, I hope all of the like dimensions and stuff helps you with sizing. I think going with their size chart and gauging from that was pretty helpful for me. Really, that's everything you need to know with sizing. That's I think what would have helped me the most when I was looking at this stuff was I just needed to see a body and like gauge from that where I was on like the sizing. So let's talk about price next. These are definitely on the pricier side, but I think it's worth it if you want to invest in like a sustainable alternative. These are ethical, and I think if you look at their model, like they are a sustainable brand, but I'll talk more to that later. So when you're looking for something that's like made really well, I think you're investing in something, so it's worth it. But I definitely bought this as a birthday gift for myself. Don't get me wrong, like these are expensive. So I think the hoodie is like 160 and the track pants are like 120 or something, but if you're Canadian like me, the Canadian exchange rate is so fast right now. Like I also had to pay duties. So for these three items, I had to pay about 80 something, $85 in duties. So make sure that you're aware of that if you're thinking about buying. So in terms of shipping, I was looking at their site to see what their rates are. And I wanted to get free shipping if I could because they're expensive. And Pangaia offers free shipping on orders over $300. So I wanted to hit the $300 mark. And that's why I also got this one shirt. Let me get it. I also picked up this seaweed like crop shirt. I've been looking for a white shirt anyway, and I got a large because they were out of the other sizes, but I really wanted this color. And this is actually like a seaweed fiber and organic cotton top, which I think is really cool. I also love the like design detail at the back. It looks very similar to that one brand. But I think if you don't hit that 300 mark, the shipping is I think $30, and shipping came pretty fast. I think it took about a week and a half to 2 weeks, which given the current landscape, like shipping is messed for so many brands right now. And I think, side note, as consumers, we should be aware of that, especially when they're smaller brands. They can't control shipping right now, you know what I mean? So be chill about it. But yeah, for me, they shipped with DHL and had to pay customs, so be wary of that. But also, good tip that they offer free shipping over $300. So if you're looking to buy like a set, it's kind of cool to look at the other stuff they offer too, because their materials are just so cool. So now let's chat about Pangaia's sustainability. It was so exciting to get this in the mail because I've researched and looked for a matching sweatsuit for literally a year. So to see that the fit and the color was just worth everything, like all the time, and especially the price of this item. Like I friggin' love brands who are actually sustainable and who care. So let's talk about Pangaia sustainability. The hoodie and the sweatsuit is made out of a recycled and organic cotton mix, and this specific line is dyed with botanical dyes, so natural plant-based dyes. And I think that itself is really cool because the dyeing process is so water and chemical intensive, and that's not good for the environment. So I think this specific color, the terracotta, is dyed with acacia wood root or something, but I thought that was so cool. And you can see in like especially the linings and where the seams are in the hoodie and stuff, where there are a bit more like pink hues and a bit more orange hues. So from like a material science and fabric standpoint, I think Pangaia is doing really cool stuff. I listened to the Conscious Chatters episode with their CIO, the Chief of Innovations. I think her name was Amanda, and she was talking about how Pangaia is based on research and development. Like that's how their business model is, and they invest a lot of time and they care about the materials that they're actually using, which I think is cool. She talks about how the brand is looking into like seaweed and using that as a fiber, and how natural like bio-based materials are the base of a circular economy in fashion. If you haven't watched my How to Be Sustainable and like Shop Consciously video, I talk about it there, so highly recommend that video if you haven't watched it yet. Her perspective and Pangaia's perspective on the fashion industry and how they're researching these fabrics, and their plan is to license it and share it with other brands. Like I think that's really cool. Pangaia also, if you go on their website right now, like all this stuff is out of stock because they limit their production runs, and I think that's super important. So instead of like a typical big fast fashion or like a bigger retailer that's usually greenwashing, they usually like produce a lot and then discount things, and I think that feeds into our overconsumption as consumers. But with Pangaia, I think they try their best to make things on demand so that they can limit waste. They also did a pre-order I think a week ago because people were like, oh my god, I couldn't get the size that I wanted, and that's a really cool indication that they care about only producing as much as people want to limit the overuse of resources and stuff. So I really love when I see brands doing that. I feel like that's a really good sign. And then of course, ethical labor. I wanted to make sure that all of these pieces were made ethically, because you can't be a sustainable brand if you don't employ people properly and pay them living wages. And on their site, on their brand FAQ, they actually say that they spent a lot of time looking for European factories and to make sure that the workers in those factories were paid fairly and were working in safe conditions. So I love that. I love that it's highlighted there. I love that they're also in Europe, because from what I'm reading, the standards and the laws around making sure that workers are safe are better in Europe than, let's say, a more developing country like India. So all of these items also came in these compostable packages. They're part bio-based and they'll fully disappear in 24 weeks, and I think that's so cool. And I was reading another article on how the ink that they use, they're printed with a water-based non-toxic ink, and I think that's really good too. You see that in all these different parts of like the design process, the shipping, the production, you can see that they do value sustainability, and I think that's why I continue to fangirl about them. I definitely think that if you're looking for a sustainable sweatsuit and if you have the money to invest, this is such a good choice. And yeah, it's pricey, and I recognize that it's a privilege to buy from these sustainable brands, but if you're lucky enough to have the money to, I think this is so much better than buying like Aritzia, Zara, H&M, all that stuff, because you're supporting something that's really cool. And this is an investment, and you're gonna wear it so much because we're in isolation. I hope this video was helpful for you if you're thinking about buying from Pangaia. I really wish there was a video like this when I was buying from them, because I had to do so much research and I was still a bit anxious about whether I made the right decision with my size, with my color, all that stuff. So if you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, please leave a like. It would mean the world to me. And yeah, please subscribe if you'd like more content like this. Check me out on Instagram. It's at inspiroue. I'd love to be friends on there. And I turned all of this info into a blog post, so if you want to read about it instead of watch a video, it's all linked below. And I will see you guys in my next video. I'm super excited about this, so I hope this was helpful. Love you guys. Bye. Is it weird that you can see my reflection in the mirror? I'm still figuring out my setup in my new space, but whatever. So I just tried these on and I am too excited, but look how amazing this is. Oh. One of my favorite feelings is when you order something and it comes and it actually fits properly and it's sustainable and it just hits all of your expectations. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited.